All right. How's everyone? Coming in here. Ooh. Welcome. If you just tuned in, trying a new setup here. Pretty tired. But basically, we got a little bit of catching up to do. Been a long time since we've done this. Not trying to sound somber or anything. Hey Rick, is that Rickles or just another Rick? If it's Rickles, shout out to the best Ganondorf from the Midwest, possibly the world. But yeah. So pretty simple show today. Certain topics I wanted to cover, and let me know if I don't sound right or if things look off. That's supposed to be a little bit of a more casual setup, so nothing crazy. Hi Rickles. So let's see. The world. Can you hear me fine, Rickles? All good? Does it sound awful? Tell me if it sounds awful, please. But yeah, let's get some things in order here. Let me see actually. Let me tinker with something off camera for a little bit. This. Yes. I see. Alright, cool. So, basically what we got going, same as everything. Oh, thanks, D1. I'm going to be covering very briefly, and I mean very briefly, because this is really just a moment to catch up with everything that's been happening since, I hate you, Rickles. Kind of like see where we're at since Frostbite, kind of think ahead, think of the rest of the season and the rest of the year, because actually there's a lot that, is kind of left in the air right now, with everything going on with the Switch, with the possible announcements, with the incessant rumors that we're hearing everywhere. We're just going to get that. So let me start recording here because there is a podcast component. So if you're new to the show, I'm Swar from PG Stats, Panda Global's stats team. And what I've been running basically is this podcast / stream where we interact and talk about what's going on in Smash 4, stats-wise, drama-wise, overall just speculation too. While normally we have a lot of numbers going on with the episodes, this one's going to be a little bit lighter in light of just more of the discussion I want to have around all the news. So let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so episode 3 of I Stand Corrected. Everybody that's in the chat, welcome. Not really too many crazy things right now, other than just some Nintendo Switch news that we got. So, without really getting much into it, from Frostbite 2018, we had a couple B tiers that I wanted to talk about. Particularly the ones that happened in Japan and over here. Nairo tweaked a buzz, the last 3 B tier winners. Nairo taking Tokaigi 2018, still the Japanese Slayer. Tweak taking EGLX 2018 this past weekend. I know there's a little bit going on with Melee, but it's okay. Then the Buzz taking Midwest Mayhem 11, both in the same weekend. Since then, there's been a lot of C tiers. You can catch that all on the PG Stats site. Shout out to Spiff for the six sticker. But yeah, so 3 B tiers: Tokaigi, EGLX, and Midwest Mayhem 11. Not too crazy for the results, as expected. A lot of people. Hi Mayday and hi Warchamp. A lot of people kind of expected everything to go the way it did. Actually, let me update something here. Warchamp is going to judge the hell out of my stream. Oh well. Those 3 tournaments didn't really surprise me in terms of results. You had just like a lot of the same sort of top 8 that we've come to expect now, since Zero is no longer, currently in what we're doing. Whatever. It says February. We'll keep it. Hey, Dre. So, 3 B tiers. A lot of shifting in the rankings, only because we don't have too much going on in the S tier category or the A tier category, really. Genesis 4 being one of the heftier tournaments to have results this year. We aren't really seeing as much as we did at the tail end of last year. However, we will have Smash Masters, so that could pose a lot for the sort of shakeup that we're all expecting to see. Not too many entrants, but it seems like it's going to be a top player fest. So obviously keep an eye out for that in 2 weeks. But really what I wanted to open the floor for is kind of now that this Smash Switch announcement came through. So if you hadn't been paying attention, which I cannot imagine, because it was everywhere and it blew up Twitter, Smash Switch was announced with a teaser featuring the Inklings, featuring Breath of the Wild Link, Mario without Cappy it seems, and a 2018 title, or launch date rather. And it was a teaser, so there was not much in terms of whether it's a new game, whether it's a new port, and we'll get to that in a second. But basically, we're looking at finally Smash being released for the Wii, or sorry, oops, not the Wii, for the Wii, or jeez, it's like ingrained in my memory. Super Smash Bros. For the Wii U, but Smash for the Switch, and the Switch has the craziest, stop Mayday, the craziest install base right now. You have so many people that just have it both on the go and at home. You also have, he's definitely memeing. But you also have the sort of advent of, for the first time, like Nintendo consoles being, not for the first time, but in the recent past because the Wii was a failure, you have a lot of new blood. And it's very popular. It's very hip now to have a Switch, actually. The portability, having games on the go, the new ports, the new innovation with the Joy-Cons, has a lot of people talking, has a lot of people and developers interested. At first, with Breath of the Wild being launched with it, there was a ton of buzz and, of course, coverage. Then Mario Odyssey was another surge, as well as Splatoon 2, although it was lauded more as Splatoon 1.5. But the Switch is the thing now, and the Switch already surpassed Wii U lifetime sales before the first year. And its first year was, I think, like a week or two ago. Someone correct me if I'm wrong, but the Switch definitely is a year old now, and that's huge. And we'll get to whether or not this is Smash 6 or 5, as I do owe War Champ an apology publicly. But long story short, getting to the meat of it, for the first time in Smash history at least, there has been a clear nod at the support that Nintendo is now looking to give to the Smash scene. If you've been paying attention to the Nintendo Versus account, which is at Nintendo VS, not Victoria's Secret, you do have the fact that they are posting, previously to the announcement of the Smash Switch teaser, they are posting about tournaments. Most notably, they posted about Frostbite 2018. Last year as well, they were posting CEO and Evo clips, I believe. And it was crazy because, I know you're already War Champ. It was crazy because never before has Nintendo formally acknowledged online, besides the typical slap of the Nintendo logo to the tournament that's being hosted, like Genesis, powered by Nintendo, CEO, featuring Nintendo. Really, they were there, for maybe an ARMS demo or showing something new, or, never really like, hey, we're here to support, and by the way, there's like going to be a new patch, and we're going to throw money for the pie. It's never been like that. Ooh, Switch update just dropped. Wow, did not know that. Thanks, Rickles. So never have we seen this Nintendo team, at least Nintendo US, because again, there's operations in Japan and the US that now are starting to converge in terms of ideals. Yeah, thanks, D1. Like Apex 2015, they definitely were there. They were letting sort of social media not fall to the wayside, but it wasn't exactly their priority, so to speak. Obviously, Nintendo of America never like touched anything Smash related. So Nintendo Versus was created towards the middle of last year, and since then they've been helping a lot. But now they have completely branded the Twitter to be just Smash, just like Smash 2018, Smash Switch, whatever. And when we're looking at that, we're for the first time in ever, at least for all the Melee Brawl veterans, I mean even 64 veterans, seeing like a formal acknowledgement of the competitive scene. And what that'll mean in the future, I mean honestly, like being real, like I have no idea. What's up, Toasty? Like they could announce tomorrow we have a league. They can announce in a month that first place for Genesis 6 gets a Switch. I don't know. Like they might totally blow it up. They might totally rock it. We might outdo Overwatch League in concurrent viewers. I don't know. It's all up. It's all up in the air. But you can have all sorts of things happen. But what's important is that the whole Smash conversation has now changed towards. Sorry, there's drama in the chat. The Smash conversation has now changed towards how can we work with Nintendo now that they are at least sort of not like opening a door, opening a window. I don't know. It's very, very much up to speculation. But, taking things back a little bit, looking from Frostbite until now, we have a little bit of a quiet because events are slowing down. Or haven't really started up because it's the time of the year. It's school starting, it's school about to end, it's school and summer about to, kick off, if you're in summer school. And we all know that the summer of Smash is essentially what we look for when it comes to Smash competitions, Smash events, like things to go to, like SmashCon. And so, we're sitting here after Frostbite, and by the way, chat, we'll have like Q&A at the end if you have any questions. So keep questions till the end. We'll open that up to the floor. No worries. Gonna keep this under an hour for sure. 45 minutes, if anything. Kind of talking off the cuff, but I wanted to address a couple things. So going back, Smash Switch comes out as the teaser, and we have something to look forward to. And it said 2018, and I've talked to a couple people about this, and we're thinking it's got to be fall at the earliest. This isn't going to come out in the summer. There's E3 to go through. There's a direct or two. There's just so many things that like Nintendo's probably going to get out of the way first. Or it could be wrong. They could be launching in July. Who knows? But I highly doubt it. So from now until that fall, if it's the earliest, okay, we're looking at like maybe October, November, right? Then it's holiday. So we're looking at Christmas. We're looking at early December. Someone else mentioned holiday would be a little bit of a silly idea because people do their Christmas shopping earlier. But I don't know. Who knows? I mean, we all thought that it wasn't going to be on the direct a week ago, and now everything's changed. So let's say earliest it's October. Okay, so that's maybe 6.5 months away. Or it's in December, which even then is now looking at like 7-8 months away. From that time until now, from this time until then, right, we have a bit of I don't know, I want to say it's the same feeling as taking your final exams in high school and having graduation in like 3 weeks. You got to look good, right? You got to look presentable. You can't just like take the car for a joyride and get in an accident and then just completely throw out what you had out the window, right? Yeah, people are betting November. Cloudhead July for your birthday. That'd be hype. I mean, honestly. But my thinking is they're going to milk this like as much as they can. There's going to be probably guest appearances from developers. I mean, there's just E3 that they're going to completely dominate because I don't even know what other games are coming out for E3 that I'm aware of. I mean, we'll probably get some Metroid Prime 4 news, but I mean, what's Xbox One X, honestly? Sony will probably do something cute, but they're gonna milk it. There's gonna be directs. There's gonna be like probably some sort of like championship thing that they get to release the game with. We might get another Mega Man GIF or a soundbite from D1. F-Zero Switch would be hype. Oh, and by the way, chat or everybody, the new that sub button's active, so we have Swar Shambles, and we can if I can I use that in the chat? Let me see if I can use that in the chat. What happens? It just came up. I'm a Twitch affiliate now, which is like a weird shameless plug to make. Um, but the goddamn. Let me see. Does it work if I do it? Yes. Oh my god, that's funny. Sorry, I've never done this Twitch thing before to that extent. But if you subscribe now, you'll get the Sword Shambles emote. Shows me in shambles. Oh, thanks, Mayday. But yeah, going back. Now I'm off track. I'm scrambling. Evo Japan 2018, by the way, Street Fighter. You should check it out. Um, the game's not out for a while, so what do we need to look forward to? We have to set up things that the new blood, the new people that are eventually going to look at us and the game as a starting point. Like Smash 5 would be the first time many people play Smash. Well, newer generation, potentially. Older generation, everybody's touched it at least once. They've seen Smash 64 in the living room during the get-togethers. They've seen maybe Melee without even knowing it was, Melee back when they maybe saw a GameCube. The Wii version with Brawl, potentially they had it laying around in their college dorm. And the Wii U, maybe by then they hadn't really gotten into consoles, so they heard about it. And it wasn't, the thing. But everybody's at least played Smash 64 that I know. But this might be the first Smash game for many people. And without really thinking about the logistics and everything of like where they're going to come from, where, who's who or whatever, they're going to come from Reddit. A lot of people on the Nintendo Switch Reddit, which is a very active and growing Reddit. I think last time I checked, it had maybe 100,000 subscribers, maybe more. I know that the Smash subreddit is at least at 250,000, I want to say, unless it's gone higher or lower since then. Oh, and thanks, Mayday, for the cheer. When people from Nintendo Switch Reddit are going to come, or Nintendo Reddit, whatever associated Reddit there is, I know that everybody's going to be checking it out from Twitter, so they're going to discover the Smash Twitter sphere for the first time, and that will create so many instances where people are going to be like, which way is up, like who's who. They might have heard of Zero, they might have heard faintly of like Bayonetta or like Cloud when they, heard about the trailer and said, oh yeah, Cloud came out, or oh yeah, Bayonetta came out, but what does that mean? So we're going to have a lot of people busting in, a lot of people, joining for the first time. They have their Switch, they have their Joy-Con extension covers, whatever. They have like all these things going. Yeah, I don't know, discovering Smash Twitter, whether or not that's good for the general public or not. But we're going to have all these things in place that, for many people, it's going to serve as their launch point. Maybe if they find answers through Google. I mean, we can all go back to that first time we found that one event, or the first time we found a Facebook group. I literally, when I came to Connecticut, searched Connecticut Smash Tournament, found Smash Boards, found the link, found that this place that was hosting an event was like 10 minutes away from me. I go, and all of a sudden I'm part of New England Smash. Initially when I moved here. Back when I used to play a lot. Could they have heard of Guessies? Oh, God. So, a lot of people are going to be doing that for the first time. And with streaming at the height that it is right now and social media being so accessible, it's easier now than ever, especially Facebook groups. People are going to have these just like instant like directories of all the events going on, especially because all the regions right now that are active are going to have those like high population densities like SoCal, Tri-State. Well, good luck getting around in Tri-State, but still, there's going to be events. They have the Xenos. They have all their weeklies, in and around New York that, new people can potentially be a part of. And then you'll have New England and Florida, which is like a huge metropolitan center as well, except it's really spread out. Texas, Midwest, all these places that have these foundations, and not even getting into Japan, because that'll be its own animal. New blood with new, like, interest or curiosity, like what's a tournament, what's a bracket, like what's seeding, right? They play their first match, they pick, because whatever, Inklings, right? They pick Inklings because they've been playing them at home, go against like, last year's like number one PR, and then they get demolished, and then they start to learn like, oh, okay, I have to. There's people better at me than this game, right? We all have that cycle. Well, I meant like, what's a tournament in the classical sense of like, what does it look like? Do I need to pack extra socks? Do I need to arrive an hour early? Do I need to take an extra controller? Do I need a controller? Some people show up, right? And they don't know. Like, we take it for granted, like the conventions and etiquette of a tournament. How it comes into like um the walking up to a setup, the hey, can I play, the shaking of the hands, that's all going to be brand new, everybody. And without even going into that normative process, because that's just like socialization 101. What do you mean there's no items? um what really needs to happen, because we can't worry about them, right? Because they're going to come and they're going to destroy, consume, support, antagonize. Like, who knows what new Smash Blood is going to look like? We can't really pretend to understand it until it happens. But us, right? When we think about us, when we think about from the top down, all the leadership involved, all the community work involved. I'm not sure if everybody saw it amidst all the craziness, but there was definitely an influx again of all the content creators who used to have Omni, who said he retired from Smash content, made a video. Top 5 characters I want to see in Smash, right? And you had Beefy Smash Dudes make a video. You had Mighty Keef, also jump on. Who else? I'm trying to think of all the content creators. Some content creators have been sleeping. I mean, of course, Shofu is back on, talking about Smash. Free Wolf. All these content creators who have been holding their breaths, right? Holding their breaths because, they didn't know if Smash Switch was going to happen. They didn't know if it was worth the time to invest into making new content. All these content creators came out of the woodwork, and they're back to at least plan, to, envision potentially what their strategy could be to like take in all these new people, right? And let me see here. When you think about that, right? Zero's been making videos, of course. All the top players, that's easy money. Like Nairo making a, turning on training mode for the first time, you could have like 250,000 views on that, if all things line up. Because if you look back at all old Smash content, like during the Wii U release, there were like the trailers that False would make as a part of Leap of Faith. Or I think he made them all on his own, but they were on the Rush Hour Smash channel. Those trailers had 120, 200,000 views, depending if it was Evo or not. But those trailers were watched by everybody. And now, like, trailers that come out, 20, maybe 30,000 views at best, even if it's Melee, right? Content creators are looking. Top players are also now expecting this, okay, new players are going to come. That means more tournaments. That means that I gotta like potentially, position myself to be this teacher, this community leader, or this person who's a superstar, or the funny guy, right? The cool guy, right? Or the cool girl, whoever wants to be like on the top of news feeds, right? So content creators, top players, and like TOs right now, all gearing up, right? Because we're talking about, from now until the release. I've seen some people, and I made a Twitter video out of this yesterday, where I was talking about, if you're not at the table, you're not part of the, if you're not at the table, pretty much like you're on the menu. Like if you're not there to talk with everybody because you've been there from the start, people are going to talk about you. And so the TOs from now until then, thinking about logistics. Do they got to buy Switches? Do they have to have like a bring your own console system they got to start thinking about? Because as it's been talked about in the PG Stats Discord, which by the way you can join, completely open to the public. It's on the PG Stats Twitter as like the pinned post, I believe. But people have been talking about, like, do we bring our own Switch? Do we play in handheld mode? Do we play with the dock? If I have to do that, I have to have the console and the game preloaded. Do I have to have, if there's DLC, like all this stuff, just like before with the Wii U. But the difference between the Wii U and the Switch that I pointed out, at least immediately to me, is the personalization aspect. I mean, never before have you, had a console that you need to like carry around to play it, like physically by looking at it. Like, you have it kind of like like not rummaging, but like kind of like just knocking around in your bag or in your backpack in your trunk. But this time, like, the Switch is like, like you got your own screen with your theme and all that. And so it's kind of a little different. People might be a little handsy about their own Switch, and totally understandable. But again, like, you can put it into a dock and take it right out. It's a lot smaller to conceal. So people and TOs need to think about that. And they are thinking about that already. And they're having proactive discussion. They're having, do we put zip ties around the dock? Do we put Velcro, so you can't pick it up, like, from the table, at least without causing a commotion? All these and more, right? But what I really want to have at the center of today, or tonight's discussion, or whenever you listen to this, is when that new blood comes, when the old guard, which is everybody right now and whoever else played this Wii U, whether they played it once or they played it for 1,000 hours or 10,000, people are going to come up to us for guidance or structure or anything. And even if it's not as you serving as a jump off point for a new player, it's whatever it is that you're going to do with your own self and your own brand to take advantage of the finally, like, pristine and, like, 100% real made, like, hype and coverage that Smash is inevitably going to get. You're going to have ESPN all over it. You're going to have all the publications that have to do with covering electronic news and covering video game news. Everybody covering how the new Switch release comes about, whether there's new features, and up until that point, you're going to have 5 things that are going to be on the Switch. And, like, as the leaks come out, as the directs come out, as more silhouettes and, like, even just images based on partly obscured renders, who's going to be on it? 5 people we want to be on it. So all these things are going to be happening. All this content's going to be made. All these eyes are going to be now thinking, oh wow, like, what's going on in the Nintendo Smash world, or what's going on in the Smash world period. You want to be that person who is in that suggested video for when, like I was telling people on Twitter, when PewDiePie makes a Let's Play Smash, or IGN makes a 5 features we want to see in the Smash, you're Omni right there at the bottom. You're Mighty Keith. Or if you're not them, you're on Twitter, a part of that discussion, or like you're a player, right? That's a part of those VODs, or a part of that that sort of topic. Because if you're speaking from Zero's standpoint or Larry's standpoint or Void's and saying, listen, in the next Smash I actually do want tripping back. I thought that tripping was innovative. It kept everybody on their toes. Joke, joke, joke. And all of a sudden you have their perspective, right? And even if it's Smash boards, whether it's like curating forum topics or getting ready to, like, potentially open up the game and see what they have, you can be a part of that. And especially as players, I'd like to say, when you think about the fact that right now until then, I know that the PGR right now kind of has like an asterisk on it because Zero's not here. Like, people are kind of, take the results of V5 and, scrutinize them because, lack of events or lack of high profile things happening and lack of Zero and all this and that. Like, I feel sorry already for whoever gets first, because I know inevitably there's going to be people that are going to seek to discredit that. Oh, well, you did it when Zero's not here. Oh, you did it without, all the events last year. And whatever that's going to be, it's going to be, and it won't matter because, again, a year from today, we're going to be talking a different tune, right? But when you do look at the top player side of competing still, of the Smash Masters League that we have coming up, of the inevitable, like, content that's going to be done on the players who are coming out of our game into the new game with either a target on their back or, a shiny trophy on their desk, those are the players that teams are going to talk about. Those are the players that, journalism, what's it called? Like, journalism outlets are going to look at and be like, whoa, have you heard of this Larry guy? Top 10 4 seasons in a row, or 5 seasons, 6 seasons, whatever. Have you heard of this Mars guy from New England? He's done all this crazy stuff. He had this crazy run. Suddenly, all the things that we were making before, the GR Smash videos, the, any memes, like, come to the new people and bolster like whatever reputation you had. So even if like you're a top player now and you feel like, oh, I'm getting snubbed, like there's no money in Smash and all this stuff, well, yeah, there's no money in Smash because it's grassroots. Hello. But when you have this renewed interest now and you have people that are now potentially putting down for this game because they know the visibility it's going to get, because they know what Nintendo is planning or whoever else is planning, all of a sudden you're first in line to get some of that. You know, you're like right there. You've been PGR'd, you've traveled before, you know the game, you're going to jump into the game. Like, barring all sorts of like catastrophic changes, you're going to do well. So I definitely would suggest like playing until the bitter end. And I know that maybe Hey Jordan, how you doing? You know, I explain this to some people that like right now it's kind of like a long game of Monopoly. Like it's kind of like that one game of Monopoly that never ends, and people start getting up because they're like, I don't want to play anymore, and then it's just like a couple people left playing, but whoever wins, like they're gonna reap the benefits from that. And it might not be fun, and it might be arduous, and I know from now until then, you know, our top eights could look any sort of way, okay? Whether it's like 8 Bayonettas with like secondaries of Cloud, or, you know, you have that crazy Nairo MKLeo Grand Finals of whatever, you know, that looks like. People are still pulling out characters in the meta that are still bringing results, although, you know, there's much to do regardless of, you know, Bayonetta, this and that. So there's things that's happening, right? Yeah, and we'll definitely talk about that. Someone in the chat says, I feel like everyone is going to say Smash 4 is automatically going to die once the new game comes out. And I don't know that it would die. It'd just be like, you know, you advance. Like, Smash is probably the only competitive game that does not follow the normal progression that other communities do of just adopting the new game. I know that there's like Marvel vs. Capcom, like, you know, MVC2 people really like, MVC3, UMVC3. And of course with like, you know, MVCI right now, there's like a lot of stuff going on. But, you know, Injustice came out, people played it. Injustice 2 comes out, they just play that too. Mortal Kombat 9, Mortal Kombat X, they play the new one because that's the one that gets support. I think everybody might play Wii U every once in a blue moon, but I guess the question is, why would you? Because it seems like this 5th one, if it's a new game, I'm definitely going to play that. And if it's a port, then it'll just have everything the other one had. So I don't know that it's really bad. There's definitely, yes, there is a stigma around Smash 4, so that'll keep things the way it is. So this might seem like really unstructured, really all over the place. Hey Daigo. And it is. This is just like pretty much like a fireside chat right now with you and I. But content creators, TOs, players, from now until Smash Switch, you have the unobstructed ability. Literally no one is telling you what to do. Because, again, if Nintendo gets involved, all of a sudden, hey, you can't be on teams. Or, hey, if you are on teams, it's only these teams. Or, hey, if you're going to play on stream, you know, that we don't know. We don't know. I mean, if you're even paying attention to Overwatch League right now, people are being fined money for offensive memes, okay? Like, they're playing in the league, they're abiding by these ethics and rules, and people have been, you know, they don't really know how to change yet from the internet persona to the gaming to the professional, and people have acted up, they'd said slurs, or they post memes that are offensive, they gotten fined. I mean, like, again, like, we don't know what that support would look like from Nintendo, or again, maybe first prize is a Switch instead of money. It's all stuff to, you know, speculate over, but until then, you can build yourself up. Like someone mentioned in chat, I think it was Mayday, you know, if IGN, right, IGN wants to get the scoop, right? IGN gets an early copy, okay? And they want to do like a little test or like a game test. Who are they going to look up? They'll look up Nairo. They'll look up, you know, maybe they saw stuff from like Disney XD. Hey, what's up, Nakat? People who have branded themselves before to be like super, you know, all encompassing in terms of like, you know, entertainment for like teenagers and young adults and all that. Like, hey, what's up? Let's play. D1, you're still here. Like, those are the people they're going to go to. And if they want to host a little invitational, you know, who are they going to look up, right? Some of us won't need IGN. Yeah. Who would D1 call up? Exactly. Like people who are immediately relevant to the conversation. You know, Zero would have still been retired, but again, he has that brand that is just insurmountable at this point. But again, like you look at how the scene from now until then has to sort of still be, still do what it's got to do. As other people have mentioned on Twitter, they said that, right now the Wii U is like being in a marriage and you're just waiting for the divorce papers to be filed and processed. I mean, it's kind of like that, not going to lie. We know what the future looks like, at least from the just like perspective of whether or not it's going to be better than it is right now, and it will be. So there'll be new attention, there'll be new eyes. What you're going to do with it when it gets there and how you've prepared up to that point is up to you. So that's pretty much my take on that. I think that many people who are just like, oh, I'm going to jump ship, I'm going to jump ship, see you when the Switch comes out by, and then they're just gone. They're gone through the potential announcements that are coming out. They're gone through the tournaments that are still left to happen that's going to have gifable and memeable moments. They're gone through the, eligibility to be ranked, potentially on, this season, etc. And they're gone, right? And all I can say to that is, I get it. Like, for many people, Smash is a hobby. For many people, like, it's not the way of life for them, and it shouldn't be, honestly. But, for everybody else that is working towards being there when the party starts, like, now is, like, crunch time. Like, now is the time where you get your, passport potentially ordered and everything lined up. You get your player resume, your TO resume, you brush up on your writing skills if you want to be a content creator, because there's articles that have been out for the past 4 years that are sourced to the same like 5 people, right? They may contact them, they may collaborate with them. Now's the time to like pitch stories potentially if you're an insider in some sense with some team or with some players or with content creators. Like False's Brawl Doc, like this is the moment. Like this is like he could not have asked, like I hope he finishes it this year. I know it's a meme, when's the Brawl Doc, but you have the Brawl Doc come out this year before the Switch release. All of a sudden you're taught about who Nairo is, who Ally is, who Mewtwo King was when he was involved in that, because people will know him from Melee. But if they're not initiated with the Melee doc, then there they go, they got it with the Brawl doc. All of a sudden all these people are at the forefront of the search terms when you look up like Smash Brothers or competitive Smash Bros, Smash Esports, and you're right there with them. So don't stop competing, don't stop hosting. And you know what, right now actually it's the time for experimentation too. I've already seen on certain Twitter threads and Facebook groups, hey, we're going to host a tournament. We're doing all items. Percentage is set at 200 and there's stamina side events. Like, whatever. Like, play the game now for what it's worth. Like, there's fun to be had. People are banning clouds and doubles. Do I care about that? No. Like, seriously, even if they did that at a national, I wouldn't mind that. I think it's important to have people be, sort of also, not have an aversion to doubles in general because of like cloud and all that, and start practicing it now, because who knows, maybe double is like the thing next year. I mean, it will never replace singles, but it could be something that has that sort of, reputation. You test out the different things, you test out the items, you test out the different stages, like play wherever you want and do it at locals, because right now I know, at least from a nationwide trend, like locals are on the decline. Previous to this trailer now, mind you, locals were on the decline because for many people it was just, all right, well, I don't want to lose against this and I don't want to play against that, and so they didn't. For many people the argument, Bayonetta, just SDI, get good, and that's fine, and I agree. Like, Bayonetta is best character in the game, has abilities that are beyond the scope of what other characters have. But for many people, like I said, this is a hobby, and they're not gonna want to do that. And there's clear methods and clear pathways to get better and SDI and do all that. But some people don't want to do that. Some people just want to play their game with Falco, and if they can't because of what's going on with her, then they won't. So try it at your locals. get the new people going, get the local scene, um, like get your local scene ready. You know, if you're gonna do one last hurrah, like start making your PRs nice and polished. Start making, you know, because I remember when I joined the Connecticut scene, there was like this PR of people that I had to beat and like all this stuff, and that was new for me. And I was like, wow, there's structure to the game. There's structure to how I can, you know, sort of gain rewards from playing, whether it's like getting that win on that player that everybody's, you know, rooting for because they're the best or whatever, or not because they're all hated because they win all the time. You know, that's all stuff to make now. There's definitely the potential to make roadmaps for all the new people that are to come. Like, you're in the Midwest, all right, well, there's this local, this monthly, these 3 streams, these 4 commentators, or sorry, 4 commentators you got to follow, you know, this website that we all hang out at, or this Twitter, you know, whatever. Not that you hang out on Twitter, but, you know, these are like the, if you have a hashtag for your region, I don't know, like, there's so many things that could potentially change. There's so many things that can get introduced to the game or introduced to the social aspect, because the Switch has all the social media capabilities packed into it. You can record replays, upload them to Twitter, just like PS4 share. All those things are happening now. So, you know, you gear up for the Switch release by having something ready for anybody, like this like infographic. You know, I'll be honest, like I wanna make one like for the global scene. You know, here's who you can subscribe to on Twitch. Make a Twitch account. Here's how to make a Twitch account. I mean, maybe not as, you know, crazy as that. But, you know, you think about, okay, this is a game that survived, or this scene, rather. And really when I'm talking about this, I'm not talking about Melee. And I talked to D1 briefly about this, but Melee is a completely different animal, a completely different beast. They are fanatics. They are amazing. They are... I haven't added mods yet, Mayday. I'm sorry. I'm not famous yet. Melee is just... they operate by their own standards, their own rubric, their own passion. So really what I'm talking does not apply to them. They're totally welcome. You know, they're total... Oh my god, Tokido. Sorry. They're totally a part of the conversation, and we always open arms to Melee when it comes to, you know, bettering or optimizing the tournament experience or whatever. We've worked together before, right? But they're crazy. They carry on CRTs. They do their own thing. They're gods, and we have to think about our needs and our capabilities separate from them, because I think the problem with a lot of our growth last year is that many people in the Smash 4 scene just like adopted the Melee stuff without that fervent crowd that would just keep coming back and just never changed anything, and then people just left and they were like, why are they leaving? And again, like, there wasn't the same staying power that Melee has for so many people. Get a room, D1. So when I'm talking about this, we're talking about like the Brawl population and Smash 4 population that became one, and it's just like this new population, everything that's non-Melee, and actually non-64, because they are also very different. But when you kind of start to stack up our resources and our ability to adapt, you all of a sudden have like a pretty hefty load to consider, because I hate being sick. You have all this available and everything ready. So jumpstart those pages now. I know so many people on Facebook have changed it from Smash Brothers Wii U New England to Smash Brothers Wii U and Switch New England, SoCal, you know, Wii U and Switch. Like, get that started now. You know, start thinking about if you're a potential TO. I'll tell you now, there'll be a dime a dozen. It's hard work. Okay, don't just think, okay, I just need a game store, some space, let's do it. What are your setups? What is your bracketing system? Are you going to use Challenge, which is outdated, not linked to Smash GG, which means that you're not going to be able to have a PR that has all these nicely linked profiles? Or you are going to use Smash GG. Do people need to make an account? How do they make an account? Are they going to make an account the day they come to your store? Are you going to have a laptop for them to make that account? You're thinking about all of a sudden of all these things you need to do to be a TO. look up how to do it now. If you're going to have a streaming setup, how many webcams do you need? Oh, you need webcams. What types of webcams? What type of streaming software? You're going to use OBS, you're going to use XSplit. XSplit isn't free. OBS is free. Well, what are you going to do, right? So many things to think about. And honestly, like, there could be many breakout TOs next year because, you know, with the Switch being what it is and Nintendo being what it is, like, you could make a pretty decent living, you know, so long as you combine it with other things if you're a game store, and have a nice little bit of income if you're going to have, like, a tournament at your venue, right? Um, so, new members, yeah, someone mentions on chat, new members on Facebook are 200% up since the trailer drop. I totally believe that. You know, and if you're a community leader, so maybe you're not going the TO route, like thinking of, all right, I gotta make a, you know, a quick competitive rundown for people to just hand out. Here's a card, and on the index card it just says, like, you know, we play with 2 stocks, we play with 3 stocks. Again, we don't know if the Smash Switch already has, like, that stuff in it. It has tournament mode. Wow, there's Melee, or that's funny what they're sampling for this song. But, you know, they might have something. They might have, like, a tournament mode where, you know, it just auto locks into 3 stocks and 7 minutes. They might have, I don't know. We don't know, okay? But, yeah, sorry, gonna release a full X Factor list? I think we forgot to do that. Or maybe we just didn't do it because we're gonna schedule that with articles. One day. We'll do it before the Switch comes out. How about that? But going back, again, community leaders gearing up, you know, maps to the venue. Like, you gotta remember, we're so used to this stuff, okay? We're so used to going to a new city, looking up where the tournaments are, or just knowing, oh, I'm going to go to MDVA, okay, I'm going to go to the Cave, right, in Fairfax. Or I'm going to go to New England, okay, like, there's Balance Patch in Boston. You know, I'm going to go to Tri-State, let's go to Xeno. I'm going to go to SoCal, let's go to MSM. We know how to do that. We know how to sign up, we know how to give our name, how much venue is going to be, and how much to enter is going to be. We know all that. But for new people, again, like, it's intimidating to go to a new group that you've never seen before for the first time. We've all been there on the first day of school when you have to, you know, pick your lunch tray and where to sit. It's hard if you don't know anybody, or if you're new to a school. So community leaders, it's time to think about welcome guides, or like little, like, orientations maybe you want to do. Like, is it your first time? Like, record videos, you know, like how to go to your first Smash tournament is a topic that anybody can do, and it might be something that is worth it. It could have 200,000 views and you're going to hate yourself for not making that video first, you know, or top 10 things to watch out for. We can, you know, extend the Smashers Don't Shower meme and, you know, totally. Oh, sorry. People are talking about chat. Okay. We're going to do a Q&A in a second. So think about questions, but closing it all up, community leaders, TOs, there's so much to do until then. So much to prepare. So much to think about. I've seen people over the years take initiatives in ways that just really bolster the scene. And when people compare scenes and they start to look at their own scene and wonder, why are weeklies dying? Why don't we have monthlies like we used to? You got to look at that community leader. And community leaders get burnt out. It's a thankless job. Doesn't pay most of the time. And it's really underappreciated. Like, people are, like, usually when you have to talk to them, you're complaining, right? But I've seen, for example, Kaggett from New England, Little Mac player, I've seen him make PR images for other regions. I've seen him make PR images for even SoCal, like either by commission or by volunteerism. Like, you have this sort of, like, initiative that he takes that is so important for everybody, because you have a PR immediately when you have seating for a national, an easy catalog for people to consider. Because, yeah, people always cry and whine that, you know, I'm underseated at a national, I'm this and that, and it's like, okay, true, you probably are, but if you don't have that accessible list for everybody, can you really blame the TOs that's managing a potential, like, you know, 500 100 person bracket, like, or sorry, 500 1,000 person bracket? Like, it happens, right? And, you know, I'd say at the third point of it, like, players still have a lot to do too. Players from now until then have everything laid out in front of them. They know the mechanics of the game. They understand the sort of breadth needed to be successful in Smash. Like False back then when he was making Smash Theory, you go back and watch Smash Theory now. I don't want to say that the videos are bare bone, very well edited, but it doesn't say anything you don't know now, right? But when you were first learning the game, if Smash Wii U was your first game, which for me it was, I was watching that stuff and eating it up like it was gospel, right? You make something now and like how to like what the ledge is like. You know, what to do on the ledge. The 6 different options you can do on ledge. Are you going to do standard get up? Are you going to roll? There's risks in rolling. Are you going to let go and jump over? Are you going to do, you know, get up attack? There's so much that you can prepare. So right here, we have so much for players to prepare until then. Like, I've seen initiatives carried within just character communities. You have the Little Mac PR. I saw the Kirby PR just come out. You start readying up people that should be referred to, okay, for the next game. Let's say there's no Little Mac. That sucks. Or let's say Little Mac returns. Boom, you got your people. You got your resources. Kirby, obviously going to be coming back. You have your resources for Kirby. You get to talk to all these people that play Kirby and refer videos and refer Twitters, and all of a sudden you have little fans. Who knows, right? All the players. Sorry. All the players right now until then, they have all this knowledge that they've just been sitting on. Like, listen, I didn't know how wild it is to Luigi Cyclone until I learned about how wild it is to Luigi Cyclone. Have I seen a guide on it? No. Have I searched a guide on it? Also no. I think BB Smash News might have done it. But if I was a new player and I wanted to play Luigi, who's a pretty popular Nintendo IP, if I open Smash for the first time and I've never played a Smash game before and I've heard about Nintendo, I might pick Luigi if not Mario, because that's all I know. All of a sudden I have a video to watch. You can mash this? I didn't know you can mash this. That happens all the time. So, oh god, if Poyo is leading the Kirby crew going to Smash 5, why not? Honestly, it might be tragic, but why not? There's a guy by Starbase Fruit. Okay. So the thing is and this is my last point before Q&A. There's also resources already made. I know for Sheik, when I was learning Sheik, there was so much I watched by Fiasco back when he was content creating, by E03, who is an Australian content creator who has been on hiatus ever since. Simikins on Smashboards made content. There was just a lot of people making Sheik content because Sheik was so complex and is so complex, you know, so much tech, right? But right now, similar to just in real life, when it comes to music, when it comes to books, when it comes to even like electronics, right? Curation, having somebody be able to take all the stuff that's out there and be like, hey, actually, these are all the things you need. These are the top 10, you know, industrial polka songs. Or these are the 5 texts to know if you're playing Sheik. And like link, article, YouTube video, infographic, like all that stuff. You can go ahead and do that. Like you can curate all the things that have to do with the tech involved with that character, with, you know, like finding streams, like curation, all that can be prepared for by the time the Smash Switch comes out. It can lead up to the different conversations that people are going to have and the questions they're going to have, because there will be many. And like people are mentioning right now in the chat, that sort of like disorganization or all this like, you know, information laying around, like DBZ is seeing that problem right now. DBZ Fighters has, you know, all these different tech videos on Twitter, and if you don't follow that person, it's hard to get. Well, people have started curating it. Like, all right, I know there's a website. Like, if you want to see the Frieza tech, here's all the Frieza tech for you right there. All these different links. So curation from now until then, totally open field. It is like all for the taking, for you to do, for them to do, and it's all there. So I think that pretty much covers it. Pretty long-winded talk, but I think it's important. And if you're listening to this on the podcast, it's it's gonna be a wild ride. Like right now, everything I'm saying is just with the idea in mind and the speculation that we're gonna be approaching this maxim that is just gonna be better and crazier than anything we can imagine. And at every step and every point and turn, like it's gonna change dramatically because after every announcement, after every teaser, after the E3 presentation, after the first official commercial, like it's gonna blow up. New people are gonna be coming back from the woodwork. We already have people saying, "Hey, like, do people still play? Let me see." Like, there's so many people that are yet to come back into the scene that was already a part of it, and then even that much more that have never been a part of it. So that's it on that. And the rankings too. I got a couple things up my sleeve. Not gonna lie, I've talked about it to some people. But it will be. I'll say right now, it will be very important how you end up on the rankings going into Smash Switch, like from the top player side, because that could literally be your passport into stardom. And I mean, like, not even being egotistical here, but like that one marker going into a new game to the uninitiated, ignorant, not ignorant by choice, but just like they don't even know what Smash is, they don't even know what esports are, holding what it is that you can get from the rankings, that could be an interview, like on release day. That could be a series of articles you're a part of, right there. Like that could be a lot. So for players that are like, I'm gonna chill, like I can't make number one anymore, so whatever, like I'll just wait for the Smash Switch, which I've seen on Twitter, not signaling anybody out, but if you sleep now, it'll be impossible to break out then. I'm telling you. Like some people might click with certain characters, but breaking out like when the game comes out as a star, not gonna happen. Like I'll tell you what'll happen. Like in the first couple months of Smash Switch, Americans gonna be crazy. The anybody coming from Brawl is gonna be crazy, and Japan will be on a completely another level, just like before. Then the meta will have a chance to settle and all this other stuff, and we'll have sort of what we have now. Well, not now, but like maybe like a year and a half ago of like exciting gameplay, all this stuff. But Smash is full of gimmicks and full of matchups, so no one's just gonna dominate. Similarly to Zero. Unless maybe Zero enters again, or maybe, okay, but let's be realistic here, okay? But if you haven't left your mark with this game as like top 10, 20, 30, top X, right, you're definitely not going to make an impression when the game comes out, because everybody is going to be making an impression. Because again, you cannot count on just like magically being able to beat Leo then, or magically being able to beat Abadango then. And I'm not trying to discourage anybody, but I'm just being realistic here, okay? So, Ally's probably going to take some names, and Naira's going to take some names, because they have the fundamentals. But UN now strongly, trust me, it'll be worth it. So, in terms of that, we're going to open it now to Twitch chat in case they have any Q&A, because we're running up, we just hit over an hour now. So I'll take 3 questions. 3 questions possibly, maybe more if they're juicy. But in light of the Switch coming out, in light of the new news, are there any things that you all are concerned about or hype about, or just want to know more about from the perspectives I can give you from behind the scene? Because, as I'll say right now, like, everybody that's been working this entire time, when everybody else left, they're first in line. If they're commentators, right? Hey, we have this Nintendo event. Hush, hush. Here's an NDA. We saw your work. We loved what you did at Genesis and Evo. Do you want to commentate this, like, event we're going to have at all the stores around Nintendo for the release? Sure. All right. Thanks, TK. Here's a contract. They're all ready, and they're all going to get these really fun opportunities, and it's because they've been working this time. Same thing, hey, like, such and such, do you want to be a part of like this one thing? Like, let's go ahead and do that. All right, cool. Like, we saw what you did over here. All right, cool. Let's go ahead and do that. So yeah, first question by Cloudhead. If Nintendo sponsored circuits with big money, all right, hold on. I need to focus on how to read this. If Nintendo sponsored circuits with big money prizes happen, what do you think will happen to organizations like ESA who currently organize circuits themselves? Well, what I'd imagine and what has been shown to us in the past with the only real successful model that I know of, aside from like Injustice and NRS, Capcom Pro Tours does the money and they do what they do, but they do that with collaboration of the existing legacy tournament. So Final Round, which is coming up, is the first stop on the Capcom Pro Tour, but it's not like it's all Capcom staff, Capcom this. They just get the overlay and they get the licensing agreement. But I think with ESA, they'd probably either exist in tandem or just like make it a part of it. So, ESA's shown that they could work with many different publishers and many different organizations. So I wouldn't doubt them to be able to still do it. He said, I'm saying this as someone who follows only Smash, so yeah, please educate me on other esports too, because I don't know. Yeah, like Mayday is saying, Counter-Strike, Dota, Halo, Call of Duty, they already have things like that. They have like different leagues and circuits. Like league refers to a licensed, like possibly franchising opportunity that involves a overarching like thing that you are a part of. Like if you're part of the Overwatch League, like you're signed and franchised into these different teams under these different licenses and you compete therein. And then a circuit is more so like a string of tournaments that are organized under a central theme and governing body or organization that heads the prize support and the infrastructure for like events and stuff. And that's kind of like, anyone can kind of be a part of it. Like the Capcom Pro Tour, like Meta RD can win, right? But he's not part of Capcom. He's just part of Rise, and he lives in the Dominican Republic and competes and all these other things. And franchising is like, I'm talking about high tier esports, Jordan. Like that would not be the first stop for Smash. Fighting games probably won't get franchising for a long time. If not, not Smash first. But, like talking about like higher echelon of esports, like leagues and circuits, you can have different leagues and circuits at the same time. And I think ESA and Nintendo could all work together. Same thing like E-League. So perfect example. Thank you, Mayday, for bringing it up. They've done Injustice. They've done, more popularly Tekken and Street Fighter recently. They have E-League and they have this, like series of events and round robin and pools, whatever happen. Capcom Pro Tour is still a thing, so can totally happen. Let's see. Another question. Zero said that he's going to continue his retirement and such because he would like to not worry about pressure of doing well, but isn't it a double-edged sword since he's not going to be entering late in the game and because of his legacy people will still expect him to top place? Kind of impossible to avoid that pressure unless he drops completely and just streams and commentates. Thoughts? Well, that's a great question. I think Zero is really just being cautious. Like he said at first when he retired at the beginning of this year with the PGR releasing, he did it literally day of, being crowned #1 for the 4th time in a row. He doesn't want to make any commitments. So he said he's done for the year or until there's a major thing. So, they could have, for whatever reason, patched Smash again on the Wii U for whatever reason. Not that there's any reason to, but let's say they did, right? And they did all this crazy stuff. Then maybe he could have come again. But when it comes to doing like a new game, which he did not probably foresee happening this year, then I think, he wants to be safe in saying like, give me my time, give me my space. I'll see what it looks like. Like maybe Diddy Kong doesn't make a return, or maybe he does and he's awful, and who's going to click with him by then? And I think he's just settling into this new lifestyle. So he's probably not going to make any commitments. If I'm going to make my guess, and yes, like as soon as Zero starts playing again, people are going to be like, if he loses to anybody, he's washed, right? he'll have to carry with that. But I think my bet is like, new Smash Switch comes out, it's gonna be too good to be true in many cases. He'll enter back in at his own pace. I don't imagine he'd come into being a competitor straight right away. But we're also not considering what happens until then. So, you know, potentially from now until then, there is a major announcement that makes him change his tune. That's totally possible. But regardless, people are always going to be on his back or a part of his fandom, so I wouldn't worry about it. Card asks, do you think orgs are going to be picking up players left and right once the release date comes around? Well, let's say they do December 18th, right? That's my friend's birthday, so why not? December 18th is the release date for Smash Switch. Let's say it's a new game, because why not? Will teams be picking up new players? It would have to depend on a few things. One, how we're doing at the time with viewership and general interest. Of course, articles and the new teasers are going to be causing all sorts of craziness. But how a stream looks like, how a top player conducts themselves, how Twitter looks like, right? They're going to glance at that before getting references and see what's going on, right? If Smash Twitter is popping off, they're going to want a piece of that. If Smash Twitter is a bunch of tumbleweeds, which I highly doubt, then they might be like, oh, this is maybe not, maybe let's wait a little more. In my opinion, most teams are going to wait. By the other side, you do have certain players who have historically performed well that, for example, if like Abadango is still a free agent up to that point, you're probably going to have teams that know better, teams that have been around the block a couple times, that know that Abadango has promising results. I mean, look at Abadango. One, he's proved to be meta flexible. He's succeeded with multiple characters like Wario, Pac-Man, Meta Knight, Mewtwo, Bayonetta. Okay, he changes with the times. So that means in a new environment, like a game, he will be likely to at least be ahead of the curve at the beginning, right? Lives in Japan, so if there's Nintendo Center Japan events, you don't even have to pay for a flight. He's right there. You fund that. You have a foothold in Japan for any sort of exposure that you want for your team. That's probably based in America, right? And then when you fly him over to compete in the big leagues over here, for whatever crazy event, now you got someone who's initiated from Japan. They practice the Japan meta. Boom. Right? I just sold you Abadango, right? If you're a team that hasn't made a decision yet and it gets closer to that date. So I don't know that teams will just be I don't think like Dignitas and Fnatic and all of a sudden 100 Thieves are going to be coming in, or maybe, who knows, right? Maybe Nintendo says that there's going to be this crazy new prize system. But I do think that there's going to be a lot of shuffling behind closed doors about people, because it'll definitely be a lot of people to look at, So another person, so Swar, since Brawl, there has been a lot of cynicism floating around, and this game sucks has been such a common phrase by highly visible players, which have been argued to discourage growth. What do you think it will take to finally dispel this decade-long cynicism going into a new game? Do you mean Smash or Smash Wii U? Because that's a totally different question. But yeah. While you rephrase that potentially, whether it's Smash 4 or Smash in general, because plenty of people say Smash sucks and you can't change their mind about it, to be honest with you. To address the question from before, teams will also do research, right? And that research will involve, are you ready? Like, it will be oftentimes like, so many people don't realize how like stupid and kind of not humble but simple like Smash signing or esports signing is. It will go online and be like, okay, Google, top Smash 4 players. Like, literally, like, just slapping like this. Like, that's how they'll do it. Like, someone in their office. And then come upon the PGR. Or come upon the winner of the 2GGC finals article. Or come upon the Genesis 5 winner. Or anything, right? And then they'll be like, oh, they have a Twitter. Let me see. Oh, who are their mutuals? Oh, let me ask Cham. Oh, D1's friends with them? I saw D1 at TwitchCon. Let me ask D1, what do you think about him? And there you have it. So teams are going to do research for sure, and that'll be like pretty much having everybody like, you got to make sure that your Twitter looks fine, because I think that people have settled the fact that like you can make your Twitter look like anything, um, because no one cares, because it is inconsequential for many. But you will have people now that are like gonna be like, oh, that's a lot of hentai. I don't know about this person anymore. Like, it'll happen, right? Other teams might be like, we love the hentai. You got to keep the hentai going, right? But again, if we're gonna be like sharing the same sort of like, platform with Nintendo, they're not gonna like kind of stand for that when it comes to broadcasting you in an event. Okay, so gotta be cognizant of that. Hmm. Smash since Brawl. Brawl players constantly ragged on their own game and carried the same mentality into Smash 4. So, long story short, silence them with excellence is what I'm going to say. Like, people can be like, this game sucks and whatever, and that might detract newcomers from picking up the game. But I'll assure you, there'll be people, because they know what's at stake now. There'll be people grinding, and they're going to, the game can be utter trash, but they're going to be like, all right, like, I'm going to be good at this. Or they might suggest changes. But I think, like, you're always going to have, some bad eggs that are going to be, like, very, like, negative about the game. And then that, in turn, hurts their followers who are then negative about the game and then negative to their friends. Because some people just take what top players say and apply it to their Twitter. Like, so many times on Twitter, I'll be, like, looking at something. And I see someone say, yeah, Me Gunner's awful. And then, like, someone else being like, yeah, so people are saying that Me Gunner's awful. And I'm just like, and it's like one person said that, man. This is now the echo. This is now the echo chamber. This is how the election of 2016 happened. All right, let's not do this. Right. So, just make sure that like if you see it, squash it. If not, I think it's important now to say that the game doesn't suck, because the game's the game. Okay, the game has been sterilized to be played in a single elimination 2 stock 6 minutes format. It was never designed that way, so it's gonna have its kinks. Okay. Game Time Greg asks, some of our last questions. They're fun. Do you think we're gonna see Pro controllers less hated on and more equipment sponsorship as a result? Interesting. So definitely with the Switch, there's a line of new peripherals that can be used, whether it's Pro Controller, Joy-Con, maybe the GameCube, I don't know. I can definitely see that, but more so it's probably going to be headphones still. Who knows if you can use a fight stick? That'd be crazy. I know that the Hori pad can be used on the Switch, so we'll see about that, but who knows? I mean, Switch carrying cases, that could be the thing, little satchel for your Switch. I don't know. But yeah, fight sticks aren't analog. That's true. I don't know then. I really don't know. I mean, I think the GameCube controller probably reigns supreme, but who knows? There are some local PM players who tried it and described it as a disaster. Yeah, I can imagine. I mean, the Smash Box and stuff, or a Hitbox, I mean, those have some testing to still be done. I know they've released a couple of them, but yeah. But yeah, I'll take one more question. Thanks everybody again. We will be closing out here in a sec. And thanks for stopping by on the stream. I know it's been a while since I stand corrected. But again, all the content creators are kind of holding their breath because there's only so much you can say about nothing happening. But now everything's happening. So don't sleep on that. And also, like, right now, you really want to be on the positive side of things. Like, you can be cynical and be like, Smash is dying, tournaments or whatever, there's no point in this. And that's fine. Honestly, I don't shame you for that, because that might be true in many cases. I know a lot of scenes are struggling. But when we're going to be at a point when people need positivity to thrive on, because that's all we're going to have, and they look back and they see you kind of being like a stick in the mud, you're probably going to get left behind. So hype up the articles, share memes, like share any results you see, because by the time it comes out, like, it'll definitely be worth its weight in gold. Last one from Card again. Do you think the jump from Smash 4 to Smash Switch will be as big as the jump from Brawl to Smash 4 as far as community growth goes? Oh my god. So without even knowing the numbers, going from the Wii to the Wii U, which was like a pretty awful console, and social media and engagement and globalization was arguably just lower back then, the Smash Switch influx of people will be larger than any Smash influx of people before, bar none. Like, you have a console that celebrities are getting paparazzi playing, and they mention on their Twitter, like, just picked up Mario Kart, having fun. Like, I've seen Diplo, like, some DJs like record doing their drops like on their Instagram, and like they're gonna do a drop, but like they're like playing Mario Kart and then they put it down and hit the button. Like, it's memeable. Like, people love showing it. It's trendy. Like, it's cute. It's hot. Like, having the Switch is great, and it's mainstream. So like everyone's gonna jump on that. I would say that Smash 5 coming out on the Switch will have that's what I'm saying, like be ready, like on Smash Reddit, like be ready, like Smash Boards even, like be ready for all the sorts of new traffic you might get, because there's definitely going to be some. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if Saturday Night Live did a skit on it. Like, there's so much that's so accessible to everybody because of how deeply, like, how much Nintendo intellectual property has permeated every facet of our culture in Western society and even Eastern society. Like, everyone knows who Mario is. Like, we've been there. Yeah, I mean, Jimmy Fallon could do a 1-5 against Zero one day. That is not beyond the realm of possibility. Like, hey, I'm Jimmy Fallon, we got Gonzalo Marios, we're gonna do blah blah blah. Conan, like, dude, because it's the thing that everyone's talking about. It's the thing that everyone's talking about. So like, they're gonna cover it because they want to be a part of that. So I wouldn't put it beyond them. So I think that'll do it. Thank you everyone again. Again, if you want to subscribe for Swar Shambles, that's now available. It's a very funny emote, and I'll get more on the way the more I flesh out Twitch. It's been kind of a thing that I have, just like an outlet. So thanks for stopping by. I appreciate the... Oh yeah, me and Fantana should do a 1-5 once it comes out. Yeah, we definitely will. I mean, he wants to play it. I mean, so many people want to play it, so it'll be out there. But once again, it's been Swar from PG Stats. Keep an eye out for things that happen this summer, because there will be a lot, I promise you. And with Smash Masters League starting in 2 weeks, I know it's not the biggest buzz right now because people are unsure of what it'll look like or who's going, but I think once people see it, they'll be happy. And, you might see some faces there that, like, you didn't expect. So, yeah. Let's go ahead and close it out. Thanks again, chat. All the regulars, Toasty, Cloudhead, Mayday, Zora, anyone else that I forgot to mention. Greg. Greg, we got to play. My Ibuki's a little better now. I've been practicing Street Fighter too. And that's the thing. I got drawn into Street Fighter. Literally, I've never played Street Fighter before. And I saw Men-RID beat Tokido, and I saw the DLC, and I saw the arcade release, like, shenanigans, and I was like, I'm gonna play that game. And I've sunk in 170 hours since December. Literally on a fighting game. Not an adventure game, not Nier Automata or like Breath of the Wild. Literally a fighting game, only because I saw the hype that this sort of stuff brought. I saw that there was a community that was vibrant. I saw that there was tech being shared. I saw all over YouTube different like guides and tutorials. I saw community. I saw like all this stuff, and I still haven't been to a local, but I want to because of all the stuff I've seen. That's what Smash like literally translate into. And I picked up Cammy. I remembered Cammy from like different Street Fighters before. My first Street Fighter, picked it up just like that, because esports is marketing. So definitely keep an eye out. Everybody else, thanks a lot. See you around. If you have any questions that you want to hash out privately, you can always DM me on Twitter at PG_Swar. But for everybody else, we're going to take the night off. Actually, this is the night, so we're not really taking it off. But there's a nor'easter coming tomorrow, so I'm going to prepare for that. Everybody else, see you. Thanks a lot, and love you all.